Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a while ago we listened to the general salute that heralded the arrival of the service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Zubairu Gambo, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Shaka Oladayo Amao, and the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Al-Khali Baba. You're welcome, sir.
Mesdames et messieurs, j'ai l'honneur d'annoncer l'arrivée de l'état-major, le lieutenant général Farouk Yahya, le chef de la marine, le vice-amiral Awaz Gambo, le chef de l'armée de l'air, le maréchal de l'air Ishaka Amao et l'inspecteur général de la police, Ousmane Al-Khali Baba. Vous êtes tous les bienvenus. Merci.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Olopami Badejo. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is still dignitaries' arrival unfolding here at the Eagle Square, where activities climaxing the presidential inauguration and swearing-in ceremony between the president-elect, outgoing president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We witnessed a while ago the arrival of the service chief, the Inspector General of Police. A short while from now, we shall be expecting the arrival of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, CFR. As we anticipate his arrival, permit me at this point to switch over the microphone to my co-compare, my Lieutenant Festus Desen.
Thank you very much, Captain Godfrey Ababa. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, here in events unfolding at the Eagle Square, Abuja, is the presidential inauguration and swearing-in of Excellency President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, service chiefs and Inspector General of Police, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo.
Mesdames et messieurs, j'ai le grand plaisir d'annoncer la présence du chef du corps de l'armée de défense, le général Lucky Irabo. Mon général, soyez le bienvenu.
general salute we listened to a while ago heralded the arrival of Chief of the Foreign Staff, General Lucky Irabo. You are welcome, sir.
Mesdames et messieurs, la salutation générale que vous avez écoutée était pour annoncer la présence du chef du corps de l'armée de défense, le général Lucky Irabo. Mon général, soyez le bienvenu. Mesdames et messieurs, nous avons aussi parmi nous ce matin le chef du royaume de Borgou, le docteur Mohamed Antoro. C'est lui qui a donné le titre de Jagaban au président élu. Voilà pourquoi on l'appelle Jagaban.
The fanfare you heard a while ago heralded the arrival of the Honorable Minister of Defense, Major General Salih Mogadishu, retired. You're welcome. Your Excellencies, Honorable Minister, the Chief of the Defense Staff, Service Chiefs and Inspector General of Police, distinguished guests, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, His Lordship, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger.
That's the arrival of the Chief Justice of Nigeria to swear in Tinubu. Even Charles Oludosem came. It is well. And that's good luck, Jonathan. With Dame Patience, Jonathan. That's Jonathan with the Chief Justice. That's Adamu Muazu, sitting next to the Oni of Ife. And this is most likely to be the Vice President or outgoing Vice President. This is 9:41. At about 10 a.m., I think the handover ceremony will start.
Distinguished guests, the
Very,
we
very
listened to a while ago,
awkward day
the arrival
because there are some of us that are waiting for
Nigeria.
the prophecies, the various prophecies out there
Please don't tell
to
me
come to
I
pass.
hand over to my compare, Captain Anibi Ababa.
It doesn't look like Tinubu will be arrested anytime.
For the commentary so far.
Doesn't look like that at all.
Most distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's still dignitaries' arrival unfolding here at the Eagle Square.
That's Kashim Shettima again.
The presidential inauguration and swearing-in ceremony between the outgoing
More foreign
president
presidents coming.
President-elect. Your Excellencies, visiting President, Your Excellencies, former President, His Lordship, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Chief of Defense Staff, Service Chiefs and the Inspector General of Police, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. This is announcing the arrival of the Senate President and the Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives.
So Tinubu is set to fulfill lifelong ambition to be Nigeria's president. What happens now to the outcome of the petition at the tribunal? What's going on here? For the record, this is going to be the most scantily attended inauguration ever in the history of Nigeria. And that's because for you to even be at the venue, the Eagle Square, you have to first of all go to the old parade ground, show them your invitation or your pass, and then from there they will scan you, make sure that you don't carry any explosive and you don't carry any weapons. Then they will now put you in their own bus to bring you to the Eagle Square. So all around the Eagle Square, from the National Secretariat up to Finance, up to CBN, all of those areas have been cordoned off. You can't get near there unless you have an invitation.
The arrival of the
and this was not how it used to be.
Deputy President of the Senate, Omoyele.
This was not how it used to be at all,
Also arrived while the military ceremonies went on. There you see the Deputy Senate President.
As the outgoing
National
Deputy
Chairman
Senate
of
President,
Progressives
greeting
Congress,
his
exchanging
APC chairman.
there.
With the national chairman of the APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. And of course, right sitting beside him there is...
There are serious implications.
Indeed, we've also seen the arrival of
Serious
the Chief
implications
Justice of Nigeria,
for the
Justice
inauguration of
Rabiu
Tinubu
Musa
today
Kwankwaso,
as
a
president of
very
Nigeria. There are
important
moral implications, there are
or part
legal implications, there are economic implications. And economic implication is what Arise is looking at, or is it business day? Will Tinubu improve the economy? I guess we're soon going to see all of that.
I'm sure he'll be here in the company of the other chiefs, the chief of Army Staff, the chief of Naval Staff, the chief of Defense Staff, and of course the Inspector General of Police. I imagine the court order which we heard has been cleared.
So, I mean, the man has been doing his duties. The IG was here yesterday to inspect the grounds.
Quick headlines. Buhari apologizes as Tinubu takes oath of office in a few minutes. This is 9:46. In about 15 minutes, the whole handover ceremony will start.
There was a court order, but we've seen the Inspector General.
Oh God.
Like Malware mentioned, we've
oh God of last minute.
Which
what will happen now?
Another title I've heard today. We'll keep learning.
What can stop the inauguration now?
Also,
and all of them being warmly welcomed by the Secretary to the government of the Federation, Mr. Boss.
It may appear as though that
he's certainly the one in charge.
They had this all planned out, but you can't rule out the fact that all power belongs to God. Yes, the government can have a lot of power. For instance, they particularly made sure that if you don't have any business, if you don't have an invitation, you can't even come near the Eagle Square.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa,
you can't even come near the Eagle Square. Look at how the Daily Inquirer puts it. Finally, it's Tinubu's turn. These are the defense chiefs, the chief of defense staff, with the naval staff and all that. And then the arrival of the Senate President and the Speaker.
Of the President-elect, which in that order,
that's the Senate President and the Speaker.
Arrival of the Chief Justice, arrival of the Speaker,
and of course the parade continues.
I've seen former President Goodluck Jonathan.
No, but it's funny, right now the Senate President is actually the acting president, because from 12 midnight yesterday, the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari officially expired.
Arrival of the visiting president and delegations, of course, arrival of the vice president-elect. We've seen vice president-elect Kashim Shettima.
Yes.
But I'm not sure that the president has arrived yet.
And you know, Sean, in these matters, protocol is extremely important.
Absolutely.
The order of arrival is deliberately done to show the importance of each person, yes, and hierarchy in matter of things. So, so far so good. All of the arrivals which we've seen are in order, and we certainly will.
He's the Senate President,
indeed,
Ahmed Lawan,
the third in command, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is with him. So they're arriving in company of each other.
The chairman and the vice chairman of the National Assembly.
Indeed. So they're going to receive the salute.
Yeah. So that means very soon.
That's them standing on the podium.
Yes, indeed.
Going to be saluted by the military.
Absolutely.
I mean, these are significant event, and a lot of people might be asking questions. The presence and the parade or the showing of Nigerian military all over the world, and this are significant showing to show the strength, to show the organization of both the institutions of government, from military to political institutions in the country. And so you can see the synergy and how these entities are interwoven. So you can see the two heads of the different arms of the National Assembly, the green and the red chambers, the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila.
So very soon we just might witness the arrival of the president and the president-elect, because we haven't seen.
Well, indeed, the vice president will come in before the president,
that, yes.
And indeed, the president-elect is expected to have been seated before the president shows up. He is the last person who shows up, and then the event.
As soon as he arrives, the national anthem, the event starts. The arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari signals that this event can commence. He is the chair of this event until the moment when the president-elect gets to the podium, takes his oath of office. In fact, we understand by protocol that the sitting president then has to leave immediately, because the chair in which, just look at the significant mark where the chair in which President Buhari will be sitting will have the coat of arms on it, and as soon as Bola Tinubu, the president-elect, gets sworn in, that chair cannot be occupied again by President Buhari. It will be occupied by Bola Tinubu, and then President Buhari will have to leave the arena. That is how the protocol has been maintained over the years.
And that is, of course, what we expect to play out here today when that happens. So that will also be bringing you all of those. So when
these security people, okay, the president-elect is now coming.
The event kicks off, the opening prayers.
That's the arrival of the president-elect.
The president-elect himself will also be sworn in by the Chief Justice of Nigeria. So all of those events will happen. You see the former handing of flags.
Chamberlain, but the vice president was a commissioner.
Looks like we're witnessing the arrival of the president-elect. Yes, indeed, the man of the moment is in the square, and you could hear the cheers from the crowd when he got in. The security men seem to be having quite a bit of challenge ushering him in there. You can see them fighting somewhat to ensure that he has a smooth passage.
8 minutes to 10.
Particular arena. Quite a bit of a scenario there, usually quite tough among the security
this
agencies.
Kind of scenario, Mark, where we've seen a few times that this has happened. We see uniformed men and
8 minutes to 10.
who are also security agents who are not very uniformed. So there you go,
President-elect
and
his wife.
Absolutely.
Senator Rabiu Tinubu arriving together.
And again, the SGF also play his role there. Welcome all of them.
He's a man who is midwifing the transition. His office actually midwives transition process in the country. And I was going to mention to you, as soon as the president-elect arrives, the next person to arrive is the vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. And when we were talking about the man Bola Tinubu, we know that Professor Yemi Osinbajo served as the Attorney General under his government at the time. And so it's interesting, the twist of fate. I mean, how life, things happen, the turns and twists of life, where you have a sitting vice president who was a former commissioner under the president-elect. So now, you see, things are just churning, and this is how life is, isn't it?
That's what happens to those kind of offices. So the offices just naturally, they just take shape when whoever occupies all of those. So yes, as you highlighted, when after the vice president arrives, the president will arrive himself, and there you then have all the other activities kick on after the president does arrive. So all of those formal handing over of flags by the outgoing president, lowering hoisting of national and defense flags for the armed forces, inspection of parade by the president and the commander-in-chief. The march past in slow and quick time will also happen.
In fact, Chamberlain, based on the order of events, we are 2 minutes ahead of time. The president-elect is slated to arrive at 9:50 a.m. He had arrived earlier than scheduled. So this event, with what we're looking at, might just start very much on cue, right on time.
Well, that's the hope, Sharon. The hope also is that the president.
So right now, it's just President Muhammadu Buhari, or if you like, outgoing President Muhammadu Buhari, that is left in the mix to complete the equation, and then the handover will begin in about 4 minutes.
He was a stickler for time, and I think that
oh, that's Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda. For me, that's one of Africa's best presidents in modern African history. I wish all presidents of African nations can be more like Kagame. Actually, his history may not be such a fantastic one because he was a former military person, and there are a lot of allegations against him.
Of the 16th president of Nigeria.
Of human rights abuses against him.
Also reaching out and welcoming some of the dignitaries. I remember he played an international role under this government, peacekeeping role in West Africa, in Africa generally. So he's met a lot of them several times. Even while he was president, Paul Kagame was still there. So that
there will be a lot of
it's a flurry of activities here at the Eagle Square right now.
Backpacking and meeting up, catching
and
up,
that's
Akpabio. See, of the president. We also see
one of the reasons Nigerians are concerned is the fact that there's supposed to be 3 arms of government that provide for checks and balances, but the way Akpabio, who is like the anointed one now to be the next Senate president, is currying favor from Tinubu, you would expect that the next or the 10th Senate will be exactly like the 9th Senate, that is just a rubber stamp Senate, like Ozekome put it, an Agama lizard Senate.
Right there on your screen, we might be seeing the arrival of the
Who do we have here?
Professor Yemi Oshibajo.
Yeah, so if he does
okay, I think he's one of the invited presidents.
5 minutes earlier than scheduled. So that was quite
interesting, actually. I mean, look, there are a lot of activities and events that have happened on the continent of Africa.
Yes, I was talking about the Senate, the National Assembly having their leadership chosen by Tinubu himself,
of course, you say a former governor of Borno State,
and the implications of that for Nigeria. Sometimes I feel like Nigerians are continuously programmed with information overload so that they are not able to pick what is important from what is not important. That's another invited president. That flag looks like the flag of the Cameroonian, or is it? Okay, the one behind looks like that of Rwanda. I think there are about 13 African nations that have been invited. So that gives some level of
a number of heads of government are arriving at this time. You will see them being welcomed. They're coming out from their vehicles. Some of them have come with
much
their wives.
Sought after and much needed
and you will see the
legitimacy.
flags on their vehicles. And I know the very first one I saw in front was the flag of Ghana. So I imagine that that will be the president of Ghana arriving at this moment.
Our brother country. We have a very
from us anyways.
Absolutely.
So there you go. That is the Ghanaian president, people just coming in. Also been received by the SGF. So there's another dignitary likely just passed by a line of sight here. So he's not in the cameras yet. So he might be within the premises in a matter of minutes, as a matter of fact. So we'll know who is in that convoy that will be arriving soon. So
President's hand, Chamberlain, that needs to be perhaps maybe after this event, wash his hands and keep the water in the museum. It will be the boss Mustafa, the SGF, welcoming and shaking hands with all the dignitaries and the big men and women who have arrived here today. Is indeed one moment that he may not forget in a hurry in his life. He's held very important position.
Look at the SUVs. That's where Nigeria's money is going. Toyota, Japan, making so much money off Nigeria.
And I guess that shaking hands and
everything about Nigeria is consumption. Look at consumption on display.
Feel at home in our
How can they like Peter Obi with all this?
very wonderful, very beautiful.
Always thinking of importing things. Import BMWs, import Mercedes, import Toyotas, import...
Oh yes, because I mean his office,
everything.
Very hectic schedule, organized.
And the more we import, the more we actually ship our jobs out there. No wonder there are no jobs in Nigeria.
Particular purpose, all coming to fruition today, even as we speak. And
that's Tinubu there. Can imagine what is going through his mind right now.
Soon, before the president arrives, after which the event will kick off.
I can imagine what he's feeling like.
So all of that,
but you know what? I think hope is not lost. Hope is not lost. That's Shetima there. Hope is not lost. However, they want to feel like they have done it and they have gotten away with it. I don't think hope is lost.
And right beside the chief of air staff on the other side,
I don't think hope is lost.
Staff, and then you also have the chief
of
now
the arrival of the president of Nigeria.
Beside the chief of defense staff. Oh, we see the arrival.
Any moment from now, as soon as the president comes in, then the program starts. Of course, you know, protocols actually demands that once the president arrives and is seated, no other person is allowed to enter the Eagle Square.
And was selected to arrive what time?
55.
And that's our presidential motorcade.
So this is actually going to plan, according to plan,
Mercedes-Benz.
Actually, too. This is one of the highly ranked.
Nigeria is one of the many countries whose president or presidential motorcade is actually made from companies that are not in that country. For example, America, their Beast, which is the official vehicle of POTUS, President of the United States, is actually made by Cadillac, GM Motors. Same thing goes for the President of France, Renault, the President of, or the Vice Chancellor of Germany. They use their own vehicles. The British Prime Minister, they use their own vehicles, the Range Rovers, the Jaguars. The President of China, they use their own vehicles. The President of Russia, they use their own vehicles. The President of Japan, they use their own vehicles. President of South Korea, they use their own vehicles. Because they are actually productive. They are a producing nation. They are not a consuming nation. They are a producing nation. Let's take a look at the vehicles entrance once again. That's it. Mercedes-Benz. That was a few moments ago, by the way. as the president was arriving.
Weight and load, to look to something else. In fact, it's been giving yet another responsibility
to be received by Boss Mustafa. Okay, that's the vice president actually.
But today,
that's the vice president. Look at that motorcade. These are 2023 Land Cruiser Jeeps. Each of these are bulletproof, and the average price of this 2023 Land Cruiser Prado is 250 million naira. 250 million naira. That's the vice president again. And it looks like
and no one felt the absence of the president.
Okay, that's a replay.
That in itself is something that one needs to applaud the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, for.
And some of the things that people were quick to remind us of was the performance of the naira against the dollar when he took the saddle.
That's the Vice President's entrance again.
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo.
Like I was saying, they all came in with Mercedes Benz, which means our money goes to Germany. Of course, Julius Berger does a lot of road construction in Nigeria. Aside from the fact that majority of the monies that are used to import the steel for construction in Nigeria actually puts pressure on our foreign reserves, it also ships away our jobs to Germany. So every time you see Julius Berger constructing roads, just think about two things. Number one, the fact that the materials that are used for the construction, the heavy equipment, the tractors and earth movers, plus the steel, the iron, materials used for construction, they all come from outside. They all bring them from Germany and China and other places. And so long as we do that, there will be unemployment in Nigeria. Because see, no country industrializes without their steel sector or steel industry being active. No country industrializes without their steel sector being active. So there's a parade for the vice president going on. No country does that except Nigeria. And the painful thing is that all of these leaders are comfortable so far as they are able to buy the latest cars. They don't care whether we are actually producing those cars and whether we are actually creating employment for our youths, for our citizens, by way of producing those cars. This is sad. And the painful thing also is that we Nigerians, we also celebrate this corruption in high places. We celebrate it. We celebrate it.
Please take your seat.
Instead of us to call these people to order and ask questions, we rather start taking pictures with their cars. We rather start pre-singing. Perhaps we will get 1 or 2 crumbs from them, when we can actually demand for good governance and actually get better than that.
Of the president on the way. There you go. He's in that line of sight again, as we did see that of the president, the vice president. So in a matter of minutes or seconds, you just see it just come through where the cameras do. But we have sighted him here, but pretty soon he will be in shot.
Look at them.
So we could hear the siren blowing and ushering him.
I've never seen a group of people that are so without shame, calling themselves leaders, when you can best just describe them as ruiners, ruining the country. That's the outgoing Senate president right there, Ahmed Lawan, with the speaker, outgoing speaker, Femi Bajabiamila. Rubber stamp National Assembly. Agama Lizard National Assembly. According to Michael Zekuman, not according to me.
You can see the NSA as well.
According to Michael Zekuman.
Government functionary, all of them going to stand
rather than provide the needed checks and balances. Look at this. Look at this again. Look at this. Look at this.
For the last time,
this is the 2023
Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Lexus or Toyota? No, yeah. 2023 Land Cruiser.
Only one man, even when he's traveling out of the country.
This one now is used to bring in a foreign president.
Out of the country. And when he arrives to,
these are the things that are causing unemployment in Nigeria. And as long as unemployment exists, there will be insecurity, there will be poverty. There will be poverty. All these things will follow. So Aisha Buhari is around now. So I'm guessing that the president will be also around the corner.
Absolutely. You can already see the bagpipes. The bagpipes usher the president into the
Remember
square.
that young gentleman who actually said that the vice president was feeding fat while Nigerians were suffering, and then the young man was arrested. And then, if not Nigerians rising up, they probably would have. That's Aisha Buhari coming up into the arena the other time.
Oh, yes. Aisha Buhari, the wife of the president, is here. It's interesting that they arrived separately. The wife of the president is arriving by herself.
Nigerians, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. Part of the problem that I think we had, is that we rely or we leave what we are supposed to do to God. And we say, God will do it, God will do it, God will do it. God will do it.
The moment is almost upon us.
They are swearing in Tinubu.
And the hour is almost here.
They are swearing in Tinubu.
In the next 40 minutes, power will change hands.
God will do it. God will do it.
A new president. Oath taking, swearing in will happen, and of course,
there is God. There is God.
Who take to this time?
O ye of little faith.
Waiting for that moment.
What time does.
It's already 10:13.
Time.
Okay, that was Opuzodimma. The man who has
that is for the country and those involved.
Midwifed.
For the last moment now, for anybody who hasn't arrived to quickly arrive.
All the atrocities that are going on in Imo State. And then you have the incoming
one of the states where
First Lady and the outgoing First Lady.
Because they have an off-season election. He is still governor until much later this year when another election will be happening in the state. So last moment right there for those who have not yet arrived. You also still see, I mean, attention is on the state box right now, but what you cannot see other parts of the square where lots of people have been arriving in their numbers as we speak. The square is currently almost saturated by the people, the dignitaries who have been invited for these occasions, and Nigerians and non-Nigerians alike from all walks of life in different parts of the square are already seated, taking their seats as the bus is bringing them from the old parade ground where they have been told to converge upon. And you can still see there that lineup. Oh yes, they're trying to show you Nigerians from all walks of life who are currently waiting for the events to start. But you can also still see there that lineup and the security cordon that has been done, waiting in arrival for the president, the CNC, who is expected anytime soon to be in the square. And I can tell you that when he comes, his presence will not be mistaken for that of any other person who has arrived, because the bagpipes will immediately usher him with a distinct and very special sound. Gentlemen.
Absolutely. When you said Nigerians from Usher to, we sing people from from across the world. I can see persons from, obviously from Asia.
Asia, yeah. You don't want to say China. But yes, Asia.
Yeah, and all different.
Les chefs d'État et les personnalités qui sont ici à Eagle Square pour la fête de l'investiture et la prestation des serments. Elle est en train de saluer le président rwandais. Elle va s'asseoir dans quelques minutes. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohamed Tijani. Your Excellencies, most distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. In a short while from now, we shall be expecting the arrival of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, on today's occasion.
And now you can hear the siren.
Yes.
You can hear the siren.
Yeah. So he's on his way.
Unmistakable. You can hear the siren, and any moment from now, the siren.
This is the loudest I will have heard today. And perhaps also the ones with the difference.
Yes, indeed. Well, in a moment, those sirens will come down.
Everyone will be on their feet.
This is just outside of the perimeters of the Eagle Square, just behind the road that leads from the presidential villa up to the Eagle Square. This is what you see now. The outriders leading the president, the CNC, the #1 citizen.
I think the president is about to arrive now.
Or so or less, but then for the moment, Malquer, the nation is waiting, the world is watching, and yet we will be seeing what will become a very historical moment in Nigeria.
They're right here in the square now.
Absolutely.
They're right here in the square now. You might see a mini display. You might be seeing a mini display of the outriders. At any moment from now, the sirens wailing will give way to the distinctive pipes, which will usher in the president. You can already see them standing at attention, waiting.
Wow, what a scenario that is. So beautiful sight.
Yes, the police officers on horseback. Those are police officers on horseback, holding the Nigerian flag, hoisting the Nigerian flag, marching in and bringing in the president, the CNC. Oh, yes, indeed. They're leading his entourage there into the Eagle Square.
That looks like the first family.
They will be in here.
Of course, this might be the longest drive from the house for the president, for the final moment when he will be carrying that title and when he will be able to sound a command to the Nigerian military that is a vehicle conveying President Muhammadu Buhari.
You might wonder what kind of emotions will be going through his mind. What will he be thinking now?
His smiles will be different. His thoughts are going to be wider than normal because he's going to be thinking
now that's the
about
president's arrival.
at the same time.
When he walks on that
Memories
carpet
and flashes of past events of the last 8 years will keep coming to his mind.
8 years in a flash.
I'm telling you, this is the moment when your mind will play more than a video tape or a computer machine just in seconds. It plays you so many memories and images at the same time. And there we have it.
There you go. So
This
it's going to be
is a moment.
so historic one.
Yeah.
Be led in by policemen on horseback.
Nobody gets this kind of this kind of honor or this kind of what would you call it? A military parade before them than the president. And this is what a lot of people campaign for.
Because I mean, we saw the pace with which the advance team came through, but this, you have to just take it in.
Very regal, very solemn.
Yeah.
Coming in gradually into the square for the last time as President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. And any moment from now, he will highlight from that vehicle and go and take his salute. And then the national anthem will be played in full. We heard it played.
That's the motorcade of President Muhammadu Buhari,
For the Vice President,
the man that has
for the
given
last
or
time
shown
as
Nigeria
Vice
some
President,
serious shaking
and
in
we'll
the
be
past
hearing
8
it in
years.
full, which will also signal the
And when you hear
commencement
people like
of the
Garba Shehu,
events
the
today.
spokesman for Buhari, saying that Nigeria will miss Buhari,
The military music that is playing in the background.
then you cannot help but be scared that if we will miss Buhari with all the shege he showed us in 8 years, then what are we to expect under his succeeding Tinubu? Because they know these things. Remember in 2015 when Jonathan handed over to Buhari, he was saying that Nigerians will miss him, Nigerians will miss him. At that time, we thought we had seen it all. We thought Nigeria was at its lowest ebb, but boy, were we shocked to see that, oh, we can actually go lower than low. According to Samuel Otom, he actually took Nigeria from top to bottom. And now they are telling us again that we will miss Buhari.
The coat of arms will not be on that vehicle any longer.
Ha, that's scary.
Even the chair upon which you will be
That
sitting
is really, really scary.
may not
Okay, that's Buhari getting out.
forward. This
That's Buhari,
traditional and the protocol.
outgoing president. Now that he's here, in a few moments, he will be Nigeria's past president.
The entire Eagle Square.
And the president-select
This moment in
will become
history,
president.
the president, Muhammadu
Of course, the
Buhari,
selected president.
will be handing over to the president-elect, Bola Tinubu, for a historic moment. That's the secretary to the government of the federation, and that's the president being welcomed by the SG.
That's him observing the military parade for the last time, I must add. For the last time. That was him some moments earlier as he was arriving the podium where the oath of office will be administered and transferred to Bola Tinubu.
The 1983 election, and now he's back. He was back in the country in its
scary moments. Many people are actually saying that maybe Tinubu is going to do well. Oh, maybe Tinubu will fix Nigeria.
Head of government in Nigeria.
And I'd like to believe that, but I'm just asking how. They say that the weekend that will be fine, you will know from the Monday. You can tell a man's future from his present and from his past. Sincerely speaking, between you and me, I don't see Tinubu doing better than Buhari. I'm open to be shocked, at least for the few months that I hope he will be there as president, because I sincerely and strongly believe that justice can still be got, justice can still be served at the Elections Petitions Tribunal. I believe, however gigantic and difficult some people think it is, I still believe justice can be gotten. And of course, from now, let's count about 5 months. 5 months maximum before the petition will reach the Supreme Court. 5 months maximum. So if the Supreme Court will rule that Peter Obi actually won the 2023 election, if the Supreme Court will rule, that means the maximum that Tinubu will have after being sworn in a few moments' time, the maximum time he will have as president of Nigeria will be 5 months. So in that 5 months, while the case is ongoing at the tribunal, what do we do to avert this impending doom that is soon to visit Nigeria? There are moral implications. There are serious implications. We'll go straight into the show, but that will just be after the inauguration proper. There are implications. There are moral implications. Remember that Tinubu has a drugs-related conviction hanging on his neck from 1993 in Chicago in the US. He has it.
May please take your seats, thank you. May I crave the indulgence
He has it.
of Commander Gas Brigade to invite
Now, if that is allowed to slide, how do we tell our youths that it is wrong to do drugs? How? A successful inauguration of Tinubu as president of Nigeria has serious implications, moral ones. Remember all the threats that went on, all the violence that went on during the elections, the open rigging. In fact, BBC, Premium Times, and some other organizations have come out to expose the rigging that went on, particularly in Rivers State. By the time the results or the reports for other states come out, you see that there was massive rigging. Massive rigging. Openly, you had supporters of Tinubu threatening people and all that. How do we tell our youths that it pays to work hard, that they should not engage in violence, that violence does not pay? How do we tell our youths that?
Excellencies, most distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen,
How?
the National
That's President Muhammadu Buhari doing his last greetings of dignitaries.
Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President
He's
Muhammadu
going around
Buhari,
greeting everybody.
on this auspicious event. And with the arrival of the President and Commander-in-Chief,
Going around greeting everybody one last time. I remember when Jonathan was doing this in 2015. And moments after, he was a former president. So Buhari will soon be a former president. And then Tinubu will soon be the substantive president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Already he has been conferred with the highest honor, which is the GCFR, Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, which can only be held at any particular point in time by one person, and that's the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Now, I was saying that there are moral implications. Togri has been elevated to the high ground. Togri has been elevated to the high ground. That's President Buhari greeting Uhuru Kenyatta. And that's the symbol, the insignia that is being brought for the handover. Moral implications. Open threats, open abuses, open insults on citizens of Nigeria, and none of those people have been held to account, and yet we are having an inauguration. That's Paul Kagame, president of Rwanda. Moral implications, like I said. How do we tell our youths? Oh, that's George Weah, the president of Liberia. And then you have the president of Ghana. That man is really, really short. My God. There are also legal implications, because now that Tinubu is about to be sworn in as the president of Nigeria and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he will have total control on the realm of power. Will he use that power to interfere in the elections? Will he use that power to interfere in the elections? Will he use that power to interfere in the petitions? Will he use that power to interfere in the tribunal? While it is likely that he could, we can make it difficult, we can make it hard, we can make it impossible for him. We can't.
To witness another historic event, which is...
And I believe we should. The supporters of Tinubu have been pushing for this particular moment. They have been pushing for this inauguration because they believe that once the inauguration happens, then it is game over. Once the inauguration happens, then that is the end of the matter for obedience for the remainder of Nigerians that are seeking justice. But no, it will not be the end. In fact, for me, personally, this will be the beginning of a whole new level of pressure that we can mount on these people. The beginning of a whole new level of pressure.
Protect
It is well, oh. At the end of the day, what we want is a better Nigeria. And for that to happen, we need good leaders with good intentions. But that's not to forget the fact that citizens also have a role to play. In fact, many of the time when leaders are able to misrule or mislead or mismanage, it is usually because the citizens were docile. So like I was saying before, the push of Tinubu supporters to quick inauguration, thinking that is the end of the matter, we should prove to them that it is not the end of the matter, it is the beginning. It is the beginning. This is a call to all Nigerians out there not to lose hope. Not to lose hope. But to see this moment as a clarion call to push harder. It is time for us to start thinking smart. It is time for us to start thinking smart. We can outsmart these people. I believe so very strongly. We can outsmart them. We can outsmart them. We can outsmart them. Let us outsmart them. Let us outsmart them. This is not the time to be docile. This is not the time to just sit down doing nothing. This is the time to take up responsibility and to begin to outsmart these people. Let us outsmart them.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu do some be Nigeria that as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will discharge my duties and perform my functions honestly to the best of my ability and faithfully in accordance and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, an educationist, administrator, and philanthropist Oluremi Tinubu, as First Lady of Lagos State, established the New Era Foundation dedicated to establishing centers for all-round development of young ones and promote public awareness on environmental, health, and community service. Oluremi Tinubu has executed a lot of philanthropical acts to alleviate the plight of indigent persons and most importantly, she has touched the lives of girls and women in her constituency. In recognition of her achievements